It's your first podcast?
Yeah, I've actually just recently I've been getting more into with trying to build this EcoPrint AI project. I've been getting more into like the social media and like building a following, trying to build a community around it. So I've been going live and creating content and stuff like that.
Okay, all right. So, tell me a little about yourself. And again, as we continue, just some quick background notes. Your name is not spelled. Is that Adrian? Is that how your name is spelled?
Adrian.
Adrian. Is that how you want? What is the Adria? What that's what I see here.
Oh no. Oh, that isn't right. It's
Right.
Adrian. I'm sorry. I'm not sure why that's like that. I'm using my this is my laptop that runs Microsoft. Normally I use my MacBook for stuff, but I have it open right here for notes. So I'm
Okay,
like,
okay, got it.
so sorry about that.
Sure, no
I
worries.
literally just installed Zoom on this laptop.
Right. It's good to rename your stuff, your name and your company name next to it. Just that will help. So like normally when I start, I'll do like this, and I'll just do Sync Consultants LLC, and I do
Really
rename,
sorry about that.
and in that
Okay, now
way, right, your profile is updated, so you get, because that stuff stays with. you know, stays on the internet forever. So you want to get that done. All right. So Adrian, are you where are you located?
I live in Indiana, but
Indiana.
I do most of my business in Chicago. So
Okay.
right now I'm in Gary, but I'm planning to move back to Chicago pretty soon, like within the next month or two.
Okay, got it. All right. And tell me about your I guess before we go to your company, tell me about you, right? It's the first time we meet in. So a few minutes, what are you about? What's your background and where are you heading?
Well, me, I'm a pretty average guy. Right now, I'm a college student. I just started in software engineering in January of this year. I'm at Colorado Technical University, so I'm in an online program, and it's
Okay.
going really good. I know in the professional world they say nobody cares about grades, but I mean, I'm 4.0 student, well ahead of my program. Um, Beyond that, before starting college here, I've been an entrepreneur. So I started a moving company. I'm from Wisconsin,
Okay.
Milwaukee,
Right.
but I started a moving company there, like moving and junk removal in 2020. And since then, I started a cleaning company. I ended up moving to Chicago, and both did good. Like both actually did really well. Um, I shut down last year because I took a job when I moved here, and I had a workers' comp injury. I had to get some disc replaced in my neck, and that's kind of what led me into tech. It's always something I wanted to do, but it was like once I started a business, I kind of gave up on college. I was just like, what do I need college for now? But I ended up in a situation where I couldn't work for myself. So like all of my income streams dried up and I couldn't work for anybody else. And I was like, so how do I, I have three kids. So I'm like,
Wow.
you know, so I went back to college and honestly, like it wasn't expected, but it's been great. Like I'm so happy that this happened, which kind of led to the EcoPrint AI project in the first place. I hope
Right.
that's a great answer, like
Well,
sufficient.
your story, your journey, it's what it is, right? There's no great, wrong. This is my podcast. It's not scripted per se. Of course, we have guidance, but it's what it is, right? Your journey is what it is. So, with the AI concept and you going into I guess Colorado Technical University. I'm a alumni of Colorado Tech University online.
What?
I actually got my master's there, so I understand the dynamics. So how? how are you putting together? Let's dive into EcoPrint. What is EcoPrint, and how did you get the methodology in place to come up with, such a thing?
It's crazy actually. This started as a hackathon project. Like, like I said, I'm completely new to tech. Like, I'm a very tech savvy person. I've always been great with computers. But I joined my first hackathon, and I really joined it on a whim. It was more like just to challenge myself for the experience.
Right.
And I went solo because I didn't feel like my coding skills were good enough to offer anything to a team. So, like I joined and I'm like thinking of an idea. The goal was to create a software or app that solved a real world problem and to build it using basically code vibing. I mean vibe coding. But I had an idea in like less than 48 hours, and it was really due to an ethics class I was taking at the same time. I had to watch this TED talk by what was her name? Dr. Sasha Lucioni. And I believe the name of it was The Dangers of AI Aren't What You Think They Are. And basically, she's an AI researcher that studies the impacts of AI on society. So she was the one who gave me that aha moment where it was like, like she was explaining how AI has this carbon footprint that nobody knows about, and like like how power hungry, these large language models are. So they have tools like what I'm building already, but mostly on the coder and developer side. But the capacity that I'm building this for is for not only coders, enterprises, but just for the everyday user. So I like, that was my idea. And the first person I took it to was one of my professors. And he was like, yes, you got to do this. Like, you can do it. So I just dove in and really I've been learning as I've been going. And I've learned a lot. Like, I've been doing all of this on my own. Like, I'm looking to eventually build a team. But right now, I'm just trying to build a community behind it. I've already built the MVP and now I'm just adding to it. So like it's really been a learning experience for me. And like I said, I've launched other businesses, like LLC, business insurance, the whole nine, but I've never done tech before. So this is and I'm trying to take advantage of as many, resources as I can as far as being at CTU. Like I'm joining like, the entrepreneurship club and just trying to just like connect with people, like all these different clubs. But this has been like an experience for me. And I'm just so excited to tell people about it, but I just want to pace myself and, you know, like I said, I'm building as I'm going. So
Right. So, most of the time, I would say tech, even Facebook started in something similar to your journey, right? So, we're talking about even dropouts, right? They dropped out of college. A lot of the major companies we have today have that kind of background like yours. But most importantly, when you're doing something, if you don't have that software technical skills, you literally have to have the brains behind you. So how are you coping to with your tech world? I mean, you're transitioning to tech, so I'm thinking you have the vision. So how are you handling the tech?
really, if you want to know, my best friend has been ChatGPT.
Okay. So,
Um, I reach out to friends, like one of my high school friends, he's a software engineer. He still lives in Milwaukee. So I ran the idea by him, and I've been getting advice from him. I reach out to my professors. I actually just messaged one of my professors on LinkedIn yesterday. So I'm waiting on a response from her because I actually ran into a hiccup recently, integrating some APIs, but like where I know the code is sound. But no, like I said, I'm learning as I'm going. So literally, one of the biggest things I've learned from this is like literally, it's no different than anything else when you're dealing with tech. Um, the best way to learn is to do it.
right.
So I just dove in and I started, I had the AI generating the code for me at first, and I would just make mods where I could. Um, But now, what I'm in my first, like a lot of this is YouTube too. Like I'm a huge YouTube university student, like even starting my other businesses.
Right.
When I started that moving company, like literally, I didn't know how to do any of the services that I offered, but like I was getting calls from customers asking for other services, and I'm like, okay, I keep letting this business go by, and I'm like, I got to call. I'm like, give me 15 minutes, I'll get back to you. And I looked it up
Right.
on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, $60 for that tool? I could do this when it made $800. Like, I'm a huge, learn on the fly kind of guy. So I'm actually now I'm more deeper into my program. So I just took a fast track for my first web dev class. I'm in, my programming class right now. So everything that I've been learning as I'm doing this is just adding to it. And I'm like, oh, I've already been doing that. Like, so I'm literally learning as I'm going. And it's all coming together like fine. Like the product looks great right now. It's just adding the functionalities. Like I have everything mapped out already as far as what I'm gonna, all the different features and just future models of it and just everything is just building it right now. So eventually I know I'm gonna have a team. It's just right now I'm bootstrapping.
Right. And again, a lot of times that's how it goes, right? You start a business, you start it in your basement garage. Some people start it some people start it in the streets, right? In their car, and then they built it from there, right? So as long as you have the passion and the determination, it will probably work out for you. So before I ask any questions about more questions about how your company is doing, let's go back to EcoPrint AI. Let's say you're talking to somebody who doesn't even know what that means. What is EcoPrint AI? And what does it do for people in the community, or why should anyone or any individual use your service?
um, Basically what it is at its most basic level, it's a calculator. And then what it does is it generates your carbon footprint based on your AI use. So there's a few different factors that go into that. One of them is, the prompts, like your prompt usage. How long is your prompt? What are you prompting the AI to do? Like, like a text prompt doesn't use nearly as much power as, say, like if you're trying to generate an image or a video. Um, Another factor would be your region, like where you are in the world. And that's really important, actually, because, like I said, I learned all of this as I've been building this.
Right,
Say, like, if you're here where I am now in Indiana, or say Greenland, I would say Greenland, they get most of their electricity from fossil fuels
right,
versus, say, if you were like, so their carbon footprint would be a lot huger versus California, where they use, a lot of hydroelectric, wind power, solar power, things like that. So their carbon footprint would be a lot lower. So that's basically what it does. And what I'm working on building, I don't want to share too much right now,
okay,
but what I'm working on is doing is like, so when I was watching that TED talk initially with Dr. Sasha Lucioni, um, one of her questions was, like this is about AI sustainability. And that's really important because AI is becoming integrated into everything, and the power that it needs, literally, like we have technology and we're well beyond, like we don't even have the power, to like we can't keep up with the power consumption, put it like that. Like we have all these advanced technologies, quantum computing, and it's only getting bigger and bigger, and we can't keep up. So, what this is the question: sustainability. What can we do to help, help this sustainability problem? Well, first, we need to make the problem transparent. Most people that I share this with, like I'm sharing the website little by little with people, and just, hey, check this out for me. And they all respond the same way I did at first. They're like, "What? I didn't even know AI had a problem." And then one of the hugest things, literally every single person has said this to me. Whoa, that's kind of scary when you think about it. Like when they're thinking about the, like how much power this stuff uses. So, EcoPrint AI is about educating people and making these like invisible emissions visible to people because that's where it starts. You know, people have to know that there's a problem first, and then it's about measuring it. So that was the first question. The second question that I came to with that is, okay, so we're educating people, we're bringing transparency to it, but how can we actually help the problem? Like, as far as, like this isn't a solve all solution to the problem of AI sustainability and like, the environmental effects of it, but what can we do to help that like actively? So one of the functionalities that I'm building into it, I'm working on it, is building smart prompting, where basically um EcoPrint AI will, like, when you have a prompt, or say like for huge enterprises that have, like, people, they have AI on customer service, like, email servers, like everything now. So when you create a prompt, EcoPrint will do a smart prompt, like have a smart prompt functionality where it'll give you suggestions on how to make your prompts more efficient, where you get the same thing you wanted, but for less power, basically. And on top of that, like best practices for your tech usage. Like, maybe you used, your computer was on for this amount of time, maybe you should turn your computer off at this time, like stuff like that. So that's where I'm going with this.
Right, and I kind of like your concept because I am also I'm a consultant in the business, IT focus. I have a platform. I work with businesses to get their AI implementation. I'm very aware of the transformation, and I'm actually helping with the transformation with AI with companies as we speak. So, and I'm also I would say an agile delivery leader or an agile practitioner, which means that you are actually working in an agile way, right?
Yeah.
You're doing things incrementally, and you even have a website launched, and you have a fee-based option for developers, and then you have an estimation for, I guess, enterprise. So have you yield any form of revenue as we speak?
No, actually, I haven't released it yet. Really, actually, I'm still in the hackathon phase right now. The hackathon ends on Monday, actually. So that's why I've been working on this like day and night, making sure that it's ready. And like I've been so crazy about like learning this process and protecting the IP,
Okay.
that I've been actually like worried about what to release too soon. Like even with this hackathon, I'm not gonna give them like, the full recipe. I'm just gonna, give them the basics. But I have everything planned out. Like it's already mapped out. Like all the ideas, like everything. I have it all in phases already. It's just the building. Man, I can go on about this for days.
Right.
um,
So what you shared with me, because you shared a link. When I clicked on it, it took me to your website. So is that public or is that just something you shared to me?
no, no, that is public. I've been sharing it, like I said, little by
Oh, that's
little.
public. So if it's
Yeah, but
public,
it's still under development right now. It was just,
oh,
just to get awareness out as I'm still building. So I have a GitHub repo for the project. So I've already published, the MVP, the version 1.1,
okay,
um, well, the version 1.0. I haven't made any of that public yet. Like it's already, like, actually I have it on the first version is a browser extension tool.
okay,
So it's on Chrome right now. Like I actually have it on my computer. And it works, but like I said, it's the most basic version. So where it's going eventually is it's going to be running in the background automatically, just keeping up with your prompts. Everything's pretty much token based.
okay.
So, I'm just, like I said, I'm building. I want to release it so bad right now, but like I said, it's I got to be patient right now.
Right. So the only thing you're missing is you need to release incrementally, and you need to release value incrementally, right? And then you need to release maybe test data. I mean something you have tested that is maybe a proportion of your idea that can be utilized. as we speak, right? So it's like the internet, right? When the internet was built, when it was released, maybe it would take you 30 minutes to send an email, right?
Yeah.
But it was out there and people were either touching it or not touching it, or people were waiting 30 minutes to send an email, but it was out there. So, as you are working on your product and you are testing your your data sets or your beta, and you're trying to try to make sure you're releasing incrementally valuable things or concept that you think the market doesn't have. I mean, I don't think once you release something and you develop it, even though there are the business side of things, which means that you may have to have a patent on it. If it's something that you are the only one, in the United States or in the world that came up with that idea, there's a data search that you can do. Where you'll be able to tell if you are the inventor, right? And then if you are the inventor, you claim it by having a patent. And then once you have your patent, nobody can steal your technology. Of course, as you grow and you develop and it becomes more powerful, you may get offers from large companies to buy it. And then it will be up to you to say, well, I want to sell it or I don't want to sell it. So stop, don't have a lot of fear into what you're doing or thinking, what it is. Of course, if you haven't defined your product and you haven't really found out how much of it you want to release to the market, don't tell me. Then it's like you haven't even done your part yet, right? So your part, and again, I'm asking you these questions because I clicked on the site and it's public. So I'm thinking you have gone a little bit to the edge of having some form of solution. But I think based on what you're saying, with EcoPrint AI, it's a calculator and you are tracking carbon and how it releases or how its footprints with I would say AI use or prompt. There's so much prompt. Chat GPT has what, maybe 200 plus million users daily, and that's just increasing by the day. So everybody is prompting every minute, and I would say millions and millions and millions. So I go back to your philosophy and what you're working on. So what happens when people, I know there's data mining and all that. Let's say you're trying to the data mining centers, right? You use a lot of power to do like maybe, crypto or things like that. I know a little bit about data mining and all that. But when it comes to this prompt and how carbon affects it, so I kind of want to take you back to that specific area. And again, this is just a way for us to support you in your invention, and definitely you'll get some highlights from this call and how you want to proceed, right? So your invention is yours. Just make sure you have your steps in order and make sure that your MVP is, I have a value, and and that value has been tested by me and it works. So I'm going to release this piece to the public, and then I'm going to see how it does and I'm going to own it. Once you own it with your patent, you can always work on that product. The internet was probably invented by the United States by one person, and it was invented at a way where it wasn't as powerful as it is today. But that person, whoever created that product and launched it, owns it today, right? So anybody that comes and say, "Well, I have an idea to increase the way the internet functions," or "I want to do this," they're all going to have to go through that original person that invented the internet and say, "Well, we want to partner with you, and this is what we're going to give you," right? Or you have a partnership with them. So I want to make sure you're clear on that concept as well. So let's go back to AI, prompting, and carbon, right? So your company, what is it? EcoPrint AI, right?
Well,
Right.
that's the
So
product.
what is
The
it?
company, well, that's the product. I'm mostly just launching the product, but the
Oh
company
yeah, the
behind it
product.
is, I named the
EcoPrint.
company LL Missions. So yeah,
Okay, what is the name of your company?
LL Missions.
LL Missions. Okay, that's good. So your product, right? So the carbon, what does that do, right? Explain that to us again. What does that do?
It pretty much it tracks and measures. So how the value in this is, as I said first, is educating and making this transparent to everyone, not just the technical person, but the everyday user.
Right.
But also on a larger scale for businesses and large enterprises, it adds a few different points of value. Like ESG reporting is really huge now, especially in the European Union, but in America too. One of the functionalities that I'm building into this, not just for companies but for everyday people, is I wanted to do reporting. So it'll draft these reports for you and it'll make the information, very easy to read, very easy to understand. And, like I was thinking about tax benefits and things like that. When you do your taxes, you get those little tax benefits for your credits for, having eco-friendly, improvements to your, house or business. I felt like this could help with that a lot because it'll show like, exactly how much you're reducing your carbon footprint by using this product, like, so I've been, just diving in. I'm trying not to look at my notes too much, but literally like I kind of knew that question was going to come up, so I was ready for that.
All right. So, and again, I love entrepreneurs. I love technology. I love people like yourself trying to build something. But as we are rounding up this call, let's say we would love to showcase your product. We would love to showcase your invention. We would love to keep you in alignment with our progress as you continue to grow, whatever development you have. We'll definitely feature you again. But in the meantime, do your thing, right? Do your thing, get your stuff. Some people it takes them 5 years to get a product released. Some people it's 13 years to get a product released. Some people is a month to get a product released. Because it's all based on your skill level, who you working with, who do you have that you can partner with. For instance, if you are actually in school and you're in all those organizations, there are definitely software engineers. There are people that you need to be connecting with, right? So as a business owner, you need a connection, right? You have to have connection. If it is the tech, the engineers, get them, make them. Then you're gonna have to have financing, right? You're gonna need money. So where is that coming from, right? You need people that are going to support you in that avenue. And again, you've done 3, 4 businesses before. You're a family man, so I'm sure you understand the concept. But I'm just making sure that they're clear for you to really understand and say like this.
No,
This
I
is
appreciate everything you're saying. Like I said,
right,
like I'm open to learn however I can. You just helped me out big time. Now I know, like I've been on the ropes about releasing it on GitHub now, and I'm like, oh, okay. As soon as I'm off the call with you, I'm gonna, you know. But no, I've already thought about like the investors and things like that. I'm kind of happy about the hackathon because that gives me a chance to put it out there in front of people. But even just off LinkedIn, like I've been getting so many people reaching out to me and just offering help and things like that. And just the support is like super encouraging to me. So like I'm thinking about things and you just gave me a wealth of knowledge. Like just like I feel like this is more of an interview for you than for me right now. Like I really appreciate you.
right.
Actually, what I was already planning on asking you anyway was so far I asked two of my professors to test it out for me and my friend, but I was definitely gonna ask you like, hey, like, like would you mind, looking over this?
Which part? Which part?
No, the actual product, like the actual
Okay.
software.
Yeah, well, you can send it to me, but when it comes to my work, especially when I have a consulting agency and all that, as of right now, there are fees involved, right? So once you
No, understood.
pass,
I didn't mean like as like I didn't mean like professionally. I just meant like as a user. I'm sorry.
oh, well, this
Like
is
just check it
me.
out. Like
We do things professionally, right? Right now, right. This podcast, and everything we're talking about, there's no charge to you, right? Sometimes I will put part of this, or I will probably go back and review this and say, well, I still want to showcase Adrian and post it out, so people start to get an idea of what you're about and what you're doing. But at the end of the day, that's still no cost to you. But anything probably over this edge, we'll start, we will have to bill you for. So at the moment, I don't want to take you to that level if you're not ready for it yet. But once you get to a certain level and you need certain things from me, definitely I can provide a lot of things for you, but those will start to be built. It will start to affect your pocket a little bit. So at the end of the day, I am gonna support you at all level by maybe this interviewing and reviewing it and see what we can put out there, and put it out there. But at the end of the day, I can also say, well, you're not ready. The video is not ready to go out there, but I could put little pieces of it, like 1 minute here, 2 minute there, that I feel like, can start to get people to think. But at the end of the day, your product is already out there. And what's the name of it again? Eco
EcoPrint AI.
EcoPrint AI. It is your MVP, and you have a website that's public. So what is it that about it that you feel is not ready yet for the market?
Um, I don't know. Maybe it's just me doubting myself. I'm my own worst critic. I've like I said, I've got nothing but great. Like every time somebody goes and looks at the website, they're like, "Oh my God, this is great!" Like I've only shown the actual calculator to one person. They're like, "Dude, this is dope." But I just felt like it just needed more. So like I just feel like it's still in dev mode. But no, I'm dead because I also created this to be open source, like you were saying, like the same thing with the internet. So like I said, it's just about pushing it out. It's already published. But I'm definitely gonna take your advice now. Like it's crazy you talked to me about having to charge me because I swear while you were talking, I was like, man, I feel like I should be paying him right now.
Yeah, you should be paying, but this is what we call connection time, right? We met for the first time, and eventually it depends on what capacity. So in this capacity, it is a way for us to meet, right? And get to know each other and then continue our work in the future, right? So when you get to, you want to talk to Sync Consultants LLC, you want to talk to Donald, you already met me, you know who I am, and we get to work more on a much more professional level where we haven't because this is a global podcast. So I have not just United States, but I work with people throughout the world as well. And that's why I love technology and the internet, because it's not just confined. You can take your product multi levels, right? So when it comes to that area of growth, expansion, moving from your first 1 million to your next 2, 3, 5 million, I'm your guy, right? But in the interim, you don't want to be doing software or technology and you don't have software or technology friends, or people that you trust, that you can discuss with openly, and of course, it's what it is, right? Even Facebook, it was three people, one of them end up suing the other, saying, well, I did this, I should have that. So it's life. We are human beings, expect risk. But at the end of the day, you can manage your own risk and say, well, I need to have this, and I'm willing to do that, and I will, if this happens, then I will be okay with it, right? But there is no way you're going to make it without connecting your dots, right? Don't be greedy, but at the end of the day, know that anything you do is a risk. It can go sideways and be prepared for what happens if it goes sideways, right? So if it's something you don't want people to know, and it is the key or the I would say the key to your development, don't share that. If you want to work with people and have them sign a piece of paper that says, do not share my business, my the core, I would say, the core, what is it called? I'm lost for words, but whatever it is that makes your MVP, you don't have to share that, or you can have people sign a MOU or a memorandum or a service agreement, not to share those things, and you guys can openly welcome that. And even if they take after you share the knowledge, they take it out, you can definitely go after it and get a lot from them, even if they went and do the invention, right? So, don't be scared. There are ways to, protect yourself by having people sign documents when you're talking core product and core delivery of what you want to do and what you know about, right? So, Adrian, I would love to see you again. I would love to maybe see how your product is doing. So,
You
go
will.
ahead.
I'm gonna get this together. I'm buttoning it up, and I promise you, you're gonna be hearing from me again.
Right? The world should hear from you as well, right? You want to shake the world with your technology, and just so you know, just talking to you, I'm impressed by your logic, the things you're saying, Chat GPT and all that has been made available to us. But at the end of the day, it's like coding on the edge when you say Chat GPT is it's just the front end. You don't know what's going on in the back end. So, as an inventor, you want to dive more deeper than Chat GPT because you need more, right? So there are people who are coding. There's well sophisticated engineers that will tell you that ChatGPT is garbage, right? It doesn't do that much for me. Oh, it doesn't do that much for me, right? So find friends like that will tell you why I think my coding or is better than ChatGPT because ChatGPT is actually growing. OpenAI is probably one of the most I would say financially the most exponential product released maybe in the last 6 months or a year, right? But if an engineer says, well, that is garbage. So let me know why, I want to be your friend, right? Tell me what's different or how we can do what we do to make it better than ChatGPT, right? So as you're diving deeper, take those advantage, explore your stuff, work on it. There's a go-to-market strategy, right? The longer you take, it could be outdated, right? The sooner you release it, it could be profitable. And then if you rush, it can be a disaster, right? So, but at the end of the day, there's something that they always, as a coach, there's always something they'll always say. You can, be quick, but don't be in a hurry, right? You know what that means?
No, definitely. Russian creates mistakes. Like,
Right. So be quick, right? So be quick, meaning that don't don't sit on opportunity, right? Don't sit on talent. Don't be in a hurry means I would say, make sure you test before you release. And make sure you understand the compliance. Make sure you scan it to make sure you literally the owner. Nobody else has. has released something like that, or if they did, find out what they released, or research it, or test it, what your competitor has done or is doing, and define your competitive advantage. What's different, right? Before you release. So when you release, you know that, well, I know that B, C, D, E is in the market, but I am A because I did my research. I know what it is, and I know what it is, what product I have, right? And then it's an open market, right? Once you have a competitive advantage, and your stuff is different, you can release.
Definitely. Believe me, I've done my research. I know Google, Microsoft, all these other huge companies, Meta, they all have these types of tools,
Right.
but none of them at this capacity, not like nearly.
Got
So
it.
I'm a perfectionist. So like I'm really soaking up everything you're saying, but I promise you, I've done my research. I'm endlessly doing research. Like every
Right.
time a question pops in my head, I was waiting for this to start, and I was just sitting here, hey, like seriously.
Right. So we want you to be a successful startup. I wish you all the best. And then, do your stuff and get to that $2 million. And then, from 2 to 5 million, it's not that hard.
Understood.
All right.
Thank you. And I got to fix this name problem. I'm gonna get on that right now.
Right. No worries. And I will take a look at this video and see what I can put out and put it out. But at the end of the day, your website is out there. If somebody clicks on it, um, there has to be a reason why you have it out there. You should be making money. You should be getting the contact or how did you create the website yourself?
Yeah. So the website was just to build the buzz right now. I'm still building the back end. It was
Okay,
just I got so caught up in building the MVP that I'm like, okay, I'll get to that once I'm done with doing all this.
great.
But I mean, I plan on releasing it for a software as a service. Like first, I'm just gonna do the soft release on Monday.
Okay.
And then from there, I'll start, seeing if I could generate some revenue off of that with like subscription services,
Yeah. Yeah. The moment you can start earning, um, and again, if the value's out there, because I did see you say $49 for developers. Why will a developer want to pay $49 to use that service? You have to have that as a pitch to be able to sell it to developers and work on that, right? Make sure you know that your stuff doesn't all have to be uh all what you're thinking doesn't have to be manifested immediately. What you have out there needs to be manifested in revenue, right? And people buying it, like, the concept. So walk on that. What do you have out there? You have a free I think it's free for individuals. You have $49 for developers. You have enterprise that should contact you if they want an enterprise level solution, right? So you already have things out there that you should be pushing, right? Even at $49, you can definitely have a business on that if it's demanded, right? So work on those beta tests and see, what is it that you're doing to make sure that people get that and are signing up. And then are there any technical issues that you should be working on? Are there marketing issues you should be working on? And then get that fixed. And then get your bank account or get people to start paying for that service. And then once they start paying on that service, then then you can go to, what is it, phase two, version two, version three. That's how you do it, right? Don't overwork yourself. Get compensated and then only release what people need and want. People, I did an interaction with a current CEO that's doing about 2.5 to $3 million. And one of his advice was, you know, before you release a product, make sure that the market is crying for it. Make sure the market needs it. Make sure the market is like, oh, meaning that they may not even know they need it, right? Like nobody knew they needed Apple device or they needed Siri or to talk on the phone to say, take me where. Nobody was telling you, oh, the market needs that, right? So from a visionary point, you need to make sure that it's screaming to your head, to your vision that, oh my God, the market needs me, right?
Really.
All right, all right. Well, that's it for now. Keep tuning on Sync Consulting LLC. Did you subscribe yet? Get your subscription up.
Really did.
Make sure you comment on the videos. Watch the videos because they are all the people that videos that I've done are CEOs today. A lot of them have been doing it for 10 plus years. A lot of them are making millions of dollars. Watch them, learn from them, and then use that in your MVP as you move forward. All right.
I'm gonna get back on for a full episode. I promise you. You're gonna want me, man.
All right. Adrian, it's good to have you. Take care.
All right, thank you so much.
All right. Bye bye.